What's going on, my people? It's your boy Connor Conflict back again, and today's video is a hot topic going on around in Dolphins Twitter land, and it is what the Dolphins basically should do with Mike Gesicki, how he fits with Mike McDaniel in the scheme. So, first things first, a lot of confusion. Like, we hire Mike McDaniel, and people were like, "Oh, this is great for Gesicki. He's gonna fit perfectly in the Kittle role," and no, he is nowhere near as Kittle. They basically are two different positions. With that said, there is a lot of misconstruing going on about Mike Gesicki, and he's getting a little crap that he does not deserve. So, he's not George Kittle. George Kittle is an inline blocker and a phenomenal receiver. He's a complete tight end. Mike Gesicki, on the other hand, as of right now, from what so far in his NFL career, he's simply just been a big slot receiver, which he's been one of our best pass catchers. So, do not take any credit away from Gesicki, but he's not the caliber of blocker that George Kittle is. George Kittle is a phenomenal blocker. Mike Gesicki, on the other hand, not so much. So everyone is attributing the fact that Mike McDaniel's coming that he was going to fit the George Kittle role. Like I said, that's not going to be him. Maybe someone like Hunter Long develops, takes a step. Maybe. We don't know. But just because he doesn't fit that mold doesn't mean that Mike McDaniel can't use his skill set to an advantage. Like, just like he used Deebo Samuel in the backfield, like, you can utilize players differently to get the matchups you want, to use them in favorable positions. So just because he ran a lot of two-back personnel groups in San Fran, I'm sure we're going to see a big translation over to Miami as well. But also, he could turn Gesicki into an absolute stud with an offense that's geared towards the players that we have. And from everything that you hear him say, it's just that. Now, when it comes to re-signing a player of this caliber, there's a lot that goes on. There's money. It's primarily money. And can you get the deal done before free agency or your franchise tag? A lot of that goes on. So I'll break more of that down further on in the video. So Gesicki is, like I said, a big slot receiver. He's 6'6", and he's really fast for his size. More straight line speed than like lateral speed. Like man coverage, he sometimes struggles, but his openness, he's got good speed for the position, no doubt. But his ability to get open is a big part of just him being big and him being able to body people out, which is certainly a valuable skill set. And it might be something that we need to, or we should have done more with him, but to be fair to George Gesicki and that offense too, they did use the strengths of Gesicki's skill set. It's just, I think, McDaniel's ability to create plays and architect plays specifically. And I'm going to bring up a crazy stat towards the end of the video that will explain what I mean. But I think that Gesicki was used well in Miami, but I think in a better offense, there's going to be even more opportunity. So, I want to gas him up a little bit now. Now it's time to bring some of the negative. So, he's a poor blocker for a tight end. Like I said, he's more of a slot receiver, big slot receiver. If you just look at the numbers of where he lines up, yes, he can play tight end, but he doesn't really block. Now, is that something they also maybe emphasize and develop? Like, we just hired that tight ends coach who's been incredible. So maybe like, hey, fucking Mike, get your hand in the fucking dirt this entire offseason and work on your blocking. Like, well, I mean, to be fair, we'd have to sign him for him to even agree to that. But like, who knows their process? And I'll tell you my prediction of what I think will happen, as well as what I want to happen. Yeah, and then another issue with Gesicki, along with his poor blocking, is that despite his crazy athletic ability, in the open field, he does not really gain additional yardage. So what I mean by that is, so there's a statistic, and I know some people don't like stats or whatnot, but Next Gen Stats, it's basically yards after catch above expectation. So what it means ultimately is they literally have all this calculated out. If you go on their website, basically they have all the players' microchips, so they know the speeds of all the players and the players around them. So when they catch the ball, they forecast just purely off running is how I interpret it. Purely off running, how far they will get. And then they have a statistic on how much additionally the player gets. Basically, so after they gained all the yardage that was built into the play, which I would consider like more schemed up yak. After they get what is schemed up for them, how many yards after contact do they get? So comparing him to Kittle, since obviously Dolphins Twitter is a little ambitious, Kittle got 1.9 yards more than he was expected to get. Gesicki, negative 0.4 yards. So that's a big gap. But on the yak tree or whatever, I was looking at the numbers, and it's ridiculous. The yards after catch, 3 of the top 10 are all 49ers. Like, they do a phenomenal job being able to get their guys in open field. Like, we had Jalen Waddle, and he had, off the top of my head, he probably had one large opportunity for yards after catch, and it was the Panthers game where he got this, I think it was a dig over the middle, and he almost cribbed it. That was the only time I can remember him getting in open space and taking. That's the thing that I'm confident with McDaniel, is that he'll be able to scheme up these things to get people opportunities. But like I said, that the negative 0.4 for Gesicki, that's after schemed up yardage, so that's kind of just he needs to do something other than hurdling. Much respect to Mike. I love Mike. He grew up and played high school football around where I live. He played my high school, so I'm a big fan of Gesicki. He's a team leader. He's always got 2 of his back. So once again, I'm going to go further in the video on what I think we should do with him. And that's the thing. The Dolphins need pass catchers. We have Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, who struggles to stay on the field. I guess you want to argue Lynn Bowden. Still kind of unproven. There's high expectations for him with the new Debo comparison, which is also a little steep. Pass catchers. Preston Williams, who's a restricted free agent, I believe. Alan Hearns, Albert Wilson's a free agent, I think. Like, Matt Collins is a free agent who we need to bring back. Let that be clear. So when you need pass catchers, you shouldn't just let one walk out the door. But there is financials involved, so that does affect what happens. So I see this going one of 2 ways. We re-sign him, and McDaniel uses Gesicki and uses his strengths to his advantage by using him in 12 personnel grouping, although it would technically be 11 with him in the slot, and just create mismatches against the defense and let him cook. And the thing is, he's not a great blocker for a tight end, but if you put him at receiver, he's blocking better than probably most receivers are, especially if you've seen the McDaniel clip. You get what you emphasized. If the Dolphins are emphasizing run blocking at receiver, I'm sure Mike Gesicki would take a jump, especially, like I said, as a playing receiver for run blocking. He's probably better than most. So that's the one thing. And then the other thing that I thought, we just let him walk. And depending on how they feel about Hunter Long and his potential to develop, like I said, we got the new tight ends coach. Maybe they feel comfortable in Hunter Long. And I think Hunter Long got a lot of shit because he didn't play a lot. But tight end's one of the hardest positions to acclimate into the NFL for, because you have to worry about the run blocking, pass blocking, and then route part of it as well. And we had a pretty good tight ends room. So he gets unnecessary flack. I think he was a solid prospect coming out, and he can develop into a solid NFL player, especially with good coaching. So if they feel Hunter Long's the move, then you let Gesicki walk and you get a receiver in replace of him. And obviously we need receivers regardless if we keep Gesicki or not, but what I mean is you use the money that you would have spent on Gesicki and you go get a receiver. Now, if they don't feel that Hunter Long will develop into a good NFL tight end, then you go out and sign another one. And the best person, in my opinion, for that position would be Dalton Schultz of the Dallas Cowboys, who's also a unrestricted free agent. So just to give you guys the numbers, Gesicki's projected contract via Spot Track, which is my favorite site to use for all this salary cap stuff. Projected contract for Gesicki's 4 years, $44 million, whereas Dalton Schultz is 4 years, $50 million. So it's an additional $1.5 million a year to get a tight end who probably put up. I mean, it's not fully fair to compare them because completely different offenses and ability to and matchup. So I'm not even compare their receiving ability, but Dalton Schultz is a tremendous blocker and he's a good receiver. So now you put Gesicki in the Cowboys offense, he probably goes off. But I'm just saying, if they were to go that route of replacing Gesicki for an inline blocker and they don't feel comfortable with Hunter Long, I think Dalton Schultz is who they should pursue. Now, overall, what do I think the Dolphins should do with Mike Gesicki? Like, I'm not Mike McDaniel. I'm not making those decisions. If he feels comfortable in being able to use Gesicki's skill sets and exploit defenses, then I'm confident that's the right move. I think at the bare minimum, and this is not necessarily my idea, I heard this from Kyle Krabs. Make sure you listen to him on Locked On Dolphins. He's tremendous. At the minimum, if you do not plan on retaining him, you tag him and you trade him. Because we're going to be spending money this offseason. It's not like we're going to get a compensatory pick back. So, or you just or you franchise tag him, see how he operates in this offense. Once again, he won't be the inline blocker, but you see what you can get out of him only on a 1-year deal. And then you make a decision at the end of next year. So I think at the minimum, we should franchise tag him. If we don't give him a contract extension, we should franchise tag him. And if we want to get rid of him, trade him. If you want to just see what you can get out of him for a year, you do that. And then you can make a future decision down the line. I love Mike Gesicki. I hope he stays a Dolphin. But I understand if we let him walk just as his skill set isn't necessarily ideally translatable into this offense. He'd do phenomenal for like a pass-heavy team like the Chiefs or even like the Bills. He'd be tremendous with the Bills. I do not want that to happen. But I think Gesicki if he goes elsewhere, he's probably going to go ham. Love Gesicki. Wish him the best if he's not a Miami Dolphin. So that's it for today's video. Tomorrow's video is going to be me recapping the Mike McDaniel press conference, which is at 10 a.m., which I'll be in class for. So I literally have class, a lab, and then I'm going to have like 2 hours to get home, make a video, upload it, and then go to work at 3. So I'm gonna be running around tomorrow, but I got to get that content for you guys. Comment down below any more videos you'd like me to make. I'm free and open to ideas. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I appreciate you guys for watching. It means a lot, honestly. So also, I have on my Twitter, I have a jersey giveaway, so feel free to check that out and enter that because I'm giving it away on Super Bowl kickoff. So once again, I appreciate you guys for spending your time, and until next time, I'll catch you guys.